folks, thanks for joining me today. So in today's tutorial, we're continuing the full moon series of each month. So I put on a 2 coats of black paint as my base coat, and now I am putting on some white paint for the moon. Now you'll notice that with my compass, I made a circle around as my border, and then I put another circle in sort of um, off to the side, or actually closer to the top is the way that it ends up when I'm finished the painting. But I did this so that I could paint some flowers around it, because the May full moon is the flower moon. So I really wanted to get the moon on there and then get sort of really creative with putting flowers on. And purple is my favorite color, so they had to be purple flowers. So we'll get to that a little bit later on in the video. So now I'm just doing the moon, and all I'm doing is using one of my blending brushes that I purchased from Amazon. It's getting pretty worn out, so I may have to splurge and purchase a new package. If you're interested, there is a link in the description below if you wanted to get a set for yourself. I think they come in a set of 3. But anyway, so what I did was, while the paint was wet, so the white paint, the base coat that I put on for the moon, while it was wet, I went and I got some blue, and I believe this is navy blue, and I put it on for the dark shadows or places where it's darker on the moon. As I was going along, I was starting to think it was looking more like the Death Star from Star Wars, if anybody can relate. So I went in with some white paint and really dulled out some of it and blended it out, and then restarted. So if you're never happy with how your blending is going, just keep working with it. Just go with the process, and it will eventually turn out the way that you're wanting it to. So that's what I do here. And instead of editing it all out, I really wanted to show everybody the process. Like, I didn't like how it was blended. Like, it's too dark on the one side, and it just didn't look right. So I just kept blending and blending. Now I'm using a smaller brush, and I'm just dabbing on white paint, pure white paint, to be really crisp on the one side, and just sort of, I guess, swiping or being wispy with the brush, just to get all of the parts that I wanted to be a little bit more brighter, but I really wanted to keep those dark spots too. So you'll see as through the process, as I go along, this really turns out the way that I originally wanted it to, although you can't see in my mind and what I was seeing, but this was very close. Once I was finished with it, very close to what I had an image in my mind as to how I wanted it to look. So it's almost like doing clouds, and I picked blue for this one because I haven't done a lot of moons in the blues. They've all been whites and grays, or the last one I did was the pink moon. So I just wanted to I had free will with this one. I didn't have to make it a specific color, so I thought I'd do that. And then I just used my toothbrush there, and I know that was really quick, but that's how I got some stars, sort of make it look like a galaxy. And now I'm just cleaning up with black paint around the edge of that circle that I'm going to use as my frame. So I'm going to paint a gold circle around that just to frame it up. And then it really makes the visual of the moon itself with all of these little stars and galaxy kind of looking thing around it, really makes it pop. That's the center, that's the vocal point, not vocal, it's the visual point that I really want people to see. So I just go around with black paint and just make the edges real crisp. And then I go in with my gold paint. Now this is glorious gold. This has become my new favorite gold. I say new, it's actually I've been using it for quite some time now, so it's kind of like an old favorite, but it's still my go-to. It's the one that I really enjoy using. It goes on so nice, and it dries so shiny. It's exactly what I've been looking for in a gold paint, and I use this quite often. So I have quite a number of bottles in my stash for my backups as I use them, and I've got that one ready to go there for the next one. So, anyways, I'm just going around and following the charcoal pencil that I used to give me my guideline, and I'm trying very hard to stick to it and keep it the same size. But it just doesn't always work out that way. But I was okay with the left side being a little bit thinner because I'm going to cover it over with some flowers. So I'm just sort of drawing them on here, just like the bigger flowers in the position that I wanted them in. And I wanted them to creep up sort of like they're hanging off of that gold frame around. And I just, whatever I felt like for my creativity flows out of me, out of my arm onto the pencil, and the pencil just draws it on. So I really like this. And I do add more as I go along when I think that there's something missing or maybe too much negative space. I fill it in and go from there. And I really like doing these little wispies. They're almost like a vine for the flowers to be hanging onto or growing out of. So I'm just using some, I think this is Happy Green. No, sorry, this is Kelly Green that I'm using. And then I do use Happy Green as an accent color. It's more of like a very bright, almost like a fluorescent-y green, but I find that when it goes onto the darker color, it just really, really makes that vine pop and be more lively, if you will. All the paint colors that I do use are going to be listed in the description below. So I list the brand name and the actual paint name that I'm using, so that if you wish to follow along and use the exact same paints that I do, then that's available to you. But I certainly urge you to use whatever you've got in your stash. That's basically what I'm doing. It's been a while since I've purchased any paint because I have so much, and I got to start using up what I've got. And I do want to point out that it has come to my attention most recently that some of the paint colors, especially I think it was from my, it might, oh darn, I can't remember which one it was, but it's one of the paints that I have quite a bit of that I've purchased years and years ago. They don't make those colors anymore. I want to say it's DecoArt, but it could be FolkArt. But I do have a lot of older stash that's still good, and I use them quite a bit, but you just can't find those colors anymore, those those names of colors. So I encourage you to make like a swatch card of all of your paints that you have, and then when you do go to replace it, if it's not there, you at least have your swatch card that you can compare the color to what they have new. So that's what I've been doing. I made some color swatches. If you're interested in seeing how I do those color swatches and maybe you want to adapt it to maybe your paint stash, let me know. I can make a tutorial about that so that you can see just how I keep my paints organized and make sure that I don't purchase duplicates, which has happened anyways. But yeah, I can do that. Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll certainly do that for you. But I do have another tutorial that I am working on. I'm just editing it up right now, and I'll give you a little sort of, um, I guess, like a hint to what it is. It is a phenomena that happened a little while ago, and I thought, what a great idea to paint. So I'm going to leave it at that. there's been a couple of different phenomenons that have happened over the last 2 months, and I'm just going to leave it like that. You can guess what it is. So I've been painting all these little flowers that I've drawn on here with purple, and I believe it's from Craft Smart. So yes, I've just been sort of adding flowers here, there, and everywhere. And I've made some of the vines and the leaves, things, and some of the flowers go over top of the gold frame because, like I said earlier, I really wanted it to look like it was holding onto the frame and encasing around the full moon. So I think I've captured that. And I think it's one of my prettier rocks that I've done in a while. I really, really like it. So let me know if you like it by giving me the thumbs up. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell because it's going to let you know every time I upload a new video for your viewing pleasure. So don't forget to ring that bell. And make sure too that if you decide that maybe there's someone in your life that really enjoys painting or learning something new, share my video with them. You can share this one or any of the ones that I have posted in my library there. I have quite a few. It's been quite the journey for me to be on YouTube, and I think I've come a long way, and I'm understanding what my viewers want to see. So I really hope that you give this video a share, thumbs up, all of that good stuff. And I'm happy that you're here to watch. So thank you for supporting me and watching my videos. So now I've been going in and I'm using a lighter purple and I am going over top of everything that I just painted that was dark purple. However, it's hard to see, but I am not going all the way to the edge. So I'm not covering up that dark purple completely. That dark purple is showing in behind, and this is just an easier way for me to outline it. So I don't have to be very particular with a fine lining brush or anything like that and make sure that I go through and around each and every single petal. I just do it in the opposite direction. So I start off with the dark color and then I put in the light color afterwards. And then the outline's already done for me, so I don't have to worry about it. It's just one way to sort of sneak around doing all that time-consuming outlining. And I really hope that it's a trick that helps you out when you're doing your painting. So now I'm going in with the happy green and I'm just brushing it on very kind of haphazardly. I'm not being very particular as long as I just stay sort of within the lines. I'm using air quotes, the lines of the dark green. Again, I'm doing the exact same thing as what I did with the flowers. I'm not painting this light green to the edge. I'm leaving some of that dark green sort of stick out around the edges because this is what I'm doing to outline. And I do it on all of the stems or the vine part, and I'm doing it on all of the leaves. And I just find it gives that extra 3D dimensional kind of look to it. And like I said, I'm not worried about if I'm covering everything up completely because that's not what I'm looking at to do. So I go around, I do all of these, the leaves, the vines, everything like that. And then I come back in and start doing more of the flowers. I was going to originally leave some of them dark. And then after I did all of the vines and the leaves, I thought, no, you know what? They all need to be the same color. So that's what I'm doing now is I'm going into all of the ones that I had left originally as the dark purple, and I'm just putting the light purple on over top. And you can see how I'm not being like very careful to make sure that the paint is all on there. I'm letting some of that purple, the darker purple, shine through. And like I said, I'm not going to the edge so that that dark purple is already outlining it for me so I don't have to go back in and do it later. And they're basically just like 5 petals that I'm doing. They almost look like starfish. But it was just an easy way for me to do this, to get all these flowers on. And you can put as little or as much detail into these afterwards once you have them all painted on. So I do go in a little bit later and you'll see I put in the centers, and I use the darker purple. There, I'm doing it right now. So that's perfect. So yeah, I just put these, it's the same color as the background or the original purple that I used. And I'm just putting them all into the centers. I debated about using yellow because I thought yellow would be a really nice contrast color or complementary color that would go with this. But I opted out of the yellow, and just wanted to keep it into the purples. So now what I'm using is this new paint that I got. It's from the Holographic Illusion series, and it's like very chunky purple. It's got purple, like holographic, I don't know, like little flecks in the paint. And so I thought I'd give it a try. And I thought it would be good to do as sort of maybe little shiny spots to capture this, and just to, make it look a little bit shinier. And then I'm going in, I'm just with my dotting tool and I'm putting different sized purple, light purple dots. So they act kind of like they're like the new blooms that are coming on the vine. And I just put them all the way around where I feel that there is some empty space. And she looks really nice. So then I go in with a dotting needle or dotting, this one's like a really, really small dotting tool. And I'm just putting some black dots in the middle. So I'm going to do a show or close up so that I can show you. Here we go. So I'm not worried about where they're being placed. I'm not worried about their size. I'm not worried about their touching, because you know what, I want it to be as natural as possible. And I just do this on all of them, and then it's finished. And I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So I give it a coat of resin, let it sit, and then it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.